The Paria Canyon Road, connecting Cannonville, Utah, and the old Paria town site, is most noted for the dozens of streambed crossing twists and turns that one must undertake to navigate it. However, the twists and turns surrounding the route's controversy makes the long and winding route itself seem like a straightaway.
In the Monument Management Plan, the Paria River Corridor is not a designated travel route. It's not open to motorized vehicles.
But Utah State Representative Mike Noel, who represents Kane County, disagrees.
This is an RS 2477 road granted by the Congress in 1866. It's been a road for over 150 years. We know it. The BLM knows it. The public certainly knows it. If we allow them to shut this road down because of a planning decision, we've allowed them to take away a property right that's rooted in law.
Motorists who frequent the route have traditionally enjoyed the road for both recreational and transportational travel long before the Monument Travel Plan was developed for the Grand Staircase in the year 2000. Historical accounts of the road date back over 100 years. Environmental activists like biologist Susan Hand of Kanab, who organized a friendly counter-protest of Saturday's ride, disagrees.
I think that having a lot of traffic in a riparian zone maybe isn't a good idea, especially in an arid region like this. I am a biologist. I'm concerned about stream bank erosion and effects on vegetation, impacts to wildlife.
First time I rode the Paria was the first time I ever rode an ATV. Oh, just the spectacular views and the history. There's so many things up there with the old cowboy names and the writings and the Indian petroglyphs and petroglyphs, and just a wonderful place.
In 1990, when the BLM proposed the canyon's inclusion in the Hackberry Paria Wilderness Study Area, they recommended that the riverbed allow for motorized access. However, when the monument released their management plan in the year 2000, the road was dropped from the 1999 inventory and hence from the plan altogether. According to a report by Salt Lake Tribune reporter Patty Hennitz, the BLM has acknowledged Jeeps and ATVs don't belong in the area. In 2007, it issued a report that said the 2000 Monument Plan prohibited motorized access in the corridors. But Kane County Commissioner Mark Habishaw contends that the monument managers have told him differently.
We did a ride down the Paria. And everybody on that ride agreed there was no impairment, degradation occurring that justified the closure of the road. And so it was left open to public access.
That status quo of being closed but not enforced as long as users abided by a tread lightly ethic stayed in effect until the 10th Circuit Court issued a decision requiring the county to sue in court for right-of-way title for any 2477 route. Immediately following the decision, the Wilderness Society filed a petition claiming it has been damaged because the BLM has not enforced its own travel plan. It was then, according to Habishaw, that the status quo changed.
When Renee Burkhout came in as manager, he advised us about a year ago that he intended to close the Paria River based on the SUA petition. And we filed a request with documentation requesting they do an administrative determination, which they have the authority to do, to consider our documentation and the history of the road and its establishment as a RS 2477 public highway. They refused to do that. That is inconsistent with all previous case law, which says that rights-of-way public highways established by October 21st, 1976 shall continue in use at their established maintenance levels. And only if there's a conflict or case for controversy do we need to go to court.
Beyond the Paria Canyon route is the larger picture of a long-term conflict between the county and the BLM determining transportation and access throughout the county. Grand Staircase comprises 80% of the county, and the county makes up 68% of the monument. Both the BLM and county transportation issues necessarily affect each other. Noel believes that the BLM is deliberately refusing to make a regulatory determination in an attempt to force the counties to accept a Title V right-of-way, which would put the BLM in control of the road's current and future use completely.
And the new right-of-way that you would get for an RS 2477 road would be a Flipment Title V right-of-way, which leaves the discretion of the agency to either cancel that at any given time that they want to. And so you trade a property right for a right-of-way grant from a federal agency that's subject to any other things that could occur in the future.
Political aside, it's the conflict on the ground between the different users that brings out the angst and the passion about the Paria.
I've got a fused right ankle, and last year for the first time I got to ride this Paria River time. And I just sit here and say, you know, there's so much beauty here, and not all of us can hike 50 miles a day. This is my country, and yet they're telling me as somebody with disabilities that I can't see my country, and I got a real problem with that.
It's not about shutting down access, it's about sharing access really, and recognizing that people who want to enjoy a quiet, serene experience really aren't going to be comfortable with these increasing numbers of motorized recreationists.
We don't begrudge them the opportunity to come up here and enjoy this beautiful area here. Why do they begrudge it to me and my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids? Why do they want to shut us out of here? There's plenty of room. Just a ways down this canyon here, there's the Paria Wilderness Area, 36 miles of hiking in there that no OHV, no bicycle, no motorized vehicle can go down there. Why can't we use this canyon in this area here for some of our uses and share it with them? Let's share these resources. It's not for one person and one individual.
Unfortunately, there are more and more people in the world and fewer and fewer places for them to show up.
I don't know if you'll ever make everybody happy, but I do believe that, especially in this particular one, this has been an established road. People have been traveling it for 100 years.
As more and more people attempt to discover it with motorized vehicles, we're ultimately going to damage it. That's my sense. I'm actually one of those people who supports wilderness. One of the few, but
Everybody kind of brands ATVs as being, you know, something that just is destructive, and they're not destructive.
The BLM will enforce the Monument Travel Plan, which is, it's designed to protect monument resources and also ensure that the designated routes remain open for use.
If you're going to claim jurisdiction of a road, and if that jurisdiction is affirmed by a court, you inherit the responsibility for taking care of that road. The BLM is not doing that. They're closing and restricting, but they expect the county to continue to maintain a federal road.
They can't manage this monument without roads. They cannot deal with the private property issues without roads. They can't deal with the grazing issue without roads. But they want to be able to dictate who controls the transportation in the monument.
I'm just opposed to shutting it off completely to motorized travel. You know, I think there's a lot of solutions that we could look at. I'm just sorry that it's come to this.
From the trailhead, I'm Don Dunwell.